Guys, this is Tammy Jesuson back for another interview. Just as a quick refresher, Insight.Teens is a career development resource created by teens for teens to get teens and young adults some insight into a variety of corporate and professional fields. Today I'm here with our fourth and last guest in our college life series, Shalom, who will be sharing with us about her experiences at college and advice for prospective students and current college students. First of all, thank you so much for being here with me today.
Hi, it's great to be here.
All right, let's get right into the questions. So my first question for you is, what college do you attend and what is your current major?
I go to IIT, Illinois Institute of Technology, and I'm majoring in architectural engineering.
All right. What initially drew you to the college major that you ended up choosing?
The major?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've always wanted to be an architect, to be honest. Like I've liked art and stuff like that. But I was going to do architecture, but I realized that, I mean, I didn't think that I wanted to like draw all the time because I really like science as well. So I saw like a great mix of both things that I love doing. So it's like civil engineering with architecture as well. So it's not just pure like design, but also engineering as well. So I felt like that would be a great fit for me.
Okay. Were there any classes that you took in high school that helped you to get more information on the field you ended up pursuing?
Definitely. I took some technical design classes as well as calculus 1 and 2 um after pre-calculus. They definitely help because in college, like your first 2 semesters is basically doing stuff you've done already in high school, like calculus classes. So it's really like important to like get those things done, have like a good idea of them at first. So you're not confused like when you eventually take those classes in college.
That makes me a little bit curious. What exactly is architectural engineering, or how would you describe that field to someone who doesn't know about it?
Okay, so architectural engineering is basically like a branch of civil engineering, but with more design, like with actual architecture integrated into civil engineering. So we take the same classes as civil engineers for the first 2 years. Then after we kind of branch off into a more architecture-based curriculum and stuff like that. So that's the main difference. It's basically civil engineering with architectural design.
Okay. All right. So, what is one thing about college that you wish you had known in high school?
I wish I had known that it's not as rigid as everyone makes it out to be. You know, when you're in high school, they tell you, "Oh, your professors don't take this in college, blah blah blah," all of that. It's not that rigid. You're very flexible with your classes, your major. Like you can do different things at once. You don't have to go down one strict path like okay, I'm taking this major, this is all I'm doing. You can minor in something else. You can always be flexible. I wish I knew that I could be flexible because in high school I kind of boxed myself in because I was like, okay, I'm doing this in college, let me take these classes. But I wish I had been more flexible and broad about my um decisions and classes I was going to take, so I could have had like a great feel of everything, because the thing about college is that it's very flexible. That's why I wish I had known.
I think that's definitely good to hear because I definitely heard from like my teachers that once you get to college, you can't get away with those things and all of that. So it's good to hear
Trust me,
from
you
a
can.
college. Yeah.
You definitely can. Like if you have issues with doing something, they make sure they have everything in place to help you get things done. Like if you can't turn in something on time, simply email the professor. You get an extension. Like it's not as hard as people make it seem.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's definitely good to hear, at least on my part. I don't know about the rest of the audience. But just going back to college, just in general, was there anything in particular that drew you or made you interested in the college that you're attending right now?
Yes, actually. I've always said I never wanted to go to a public university or like a really big school, like with thousands of people on campus. And the thing about IIT is it's very small and it's private. Sorry, the trains in the background. Um, but it's very small and it means the class size is relatively small as well. So you get more attention from your professors. Like it's just it's an environment that I like. We don't get too many parties or college life, all of that, but I'm willing to exchange that for the amount of meticulousness I get, like with my education. So yeah,
I think that's definitely something people need to pay attention to when they are choosing a
yeah,
college. There are lots
yeah,
of things and factors to take into account, like how big it is, how small it is,
yeah,
like what your focus is going to be in college. So I think that's
yeah.
definitely
It's
insightful.
definitely important. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Uh, where is the best place to study at the school that you go to currently?
Hmm. That's a good question, to be honest. I would say there's no exact best place. Whatever works for me is fine. Like, I spend most of my studying time at my job. Like when I work my shifts at the desk, that's when I study.
Do you know anything about work study and how that works in college, or how to balance college and studying with working?
I don't know much about work study and all of that. I don't do work study. I just get paid normally. Like, oh, but I think work study is where you don't get paid by your school. I think you get paid by the government, something like that. Like, I'm not too sure what goes on with that, but I don't do work study. I just get paid directly by my school, my job. But yeah, I think getting jobs on campus is a great way to help put like give yourself responsibility for the future because when you have your classes and your job and you can manage your time like properly and then at that time in your job you can still use it to study because not the jobs aren't really so high skill like you don't need to be up and running all the time. It's basically desk jobs, all of that, so you can use it to study. And yeah, it's a great way to get experience and teach yourself to be responsible.
Yeah. Have you ever had like any trouble balancing your schoolwork with your
Oh,
work?
definitely, definitely. It's hard at first, because you're finally getting to experience like what working life is like, and it's tough. You have to sacrifice your sleep a couple times to make things work out. But I feel like once you get into the like you understand your schedule, it's fine after that. You just know how to make things work. But it's tough at first, definitely. But you'll get used to it.
All right. Was there anything that just initially when you first went to college that really shocked you that you didn't know about, like something about college life or living with other people or the classes?
Well, college life in general, no, because I went to a boarding school. So I was used to like living with other people. It wasn't anything new. But I think what shocked me about the classes is that you do most of the work yourself. It's not really you get lectured, you get assignments. I mean, some classes are like that, but not most, especially not if you're going to a tech school, like where you have to do engineering and stuff like that. You don't get lectured. You basically teach yourself, then work out problems and stuff like that. So it's kind of like a flipped class, and in that sense, you have to be very, very responsible with your time, like, and be able to like you need to study a lot and think critically and solve problems because a lot of times you're just like, okay, this is the thing, you do it, and you're like, oh, I mean, you can ask for help, but it's basically you're doing everything. It's less of the teachers lecturing at you, but more of you trying to learn, basically. That's just it.
Speaking of managing your time and being able to be responsible with things like that, do you have any tips for people who struggle to manage their time independently without any guidance?
Yes, I do. I have a couple of friends that they had no prior experience with time management beforehand, and right now they're doing great. So it's all about like knowing what you want. Like if you know these are goals I want to meet and this is what I want to do, the best thing is to write yourself a schedule. That's the best thing. I have a planner as well. You should get a planner. Like write things down certain times and stick to it. That's the best way. If you're not used to managing your time independently, you should get a planner. So at least you have some form of accountability with yourself. So you should have a planner. I think that's important.
Yeah, I know at least for me, I need to like every day for school, I like write out a schedule of what I want to do.
What you need to do, yeah.
And I also have a planner that I can help organize. It helps me to like organize like the tasks I have and things like that. I think that's definitely even in high school, it's really important to have things
Yeah,
like that to
yeah,
keep yourself on track. Yeah.
definitely.
Do you have any tips for juniors or seniors in high school who are applying to college soon and are thinking about those types of things as of right now?
Um, so okay, actually, mainly try not to be influenced by like other people when you're applying to college. Make sure you apply to a college that affects you and how do I put it? That's comfortable for you as a person, you know, and don't get too swayed by the how do I put it, the ratings or the all of that, you know, try as much as possible to get a college that applies to you personally, like your taste, like the kind of environment you want to be in, stuff like that. Because if I went to like a large public school now, I could tell like I wouldn't be comfortable. So if that's what you like, great, then go for that. But don't get influenced by different things. Just make sure you pick a college that's right for you and somewhere because you'll be spending at least 4 years like of your life there. So you should at least go to a place that works for you. So you should take care and picking a college that works for you because if you don't, you could end up like frustrated, like nothing would work out and you'll be like confused, like what's going on. So it's really important to like pick a college that works for you.
Yeah, I think definitely. I'm a senior in high school right
Yeah.
now. There are a lot of pressures from
Mm-hmm.
other people who want to go to a certain school or
Yeah.
who have different opinions about schools and stuff, and that can really influence you when it comes to
Yeah. Yeah.
choosing like where you want to apply to. So I think that's definitely really helpful advice. And I know
Yeah.
for me, I think I'm just focusing on keeping in mind like what my goals
Yeah.
are, and those may
Yeah.
not be
It's
the
very
same
important.
as people around me. So I think that's what's really helped me. So I also think that's great advice for anyone else who is applying to college soon as well. So going back to the subject of college life, do you have any advice for making new friends when you first get to college?
Yeah, it depends on the type of person you are. If you're extroverted, I don't think it's going to be too hard for you, to be honest. Like everyone's, at least on this campus, everyone's friendly. Like there are many student organizations you can go to, the fairs and welcome week activities. Like it's really easy to make new friends if you want to. Just try and have an open mind, especially like if you come from a background or environment where you're not used to like interacting with so many people, just try to have an open mind because everyone's different at college. Like you might not find people that think like you or are like you. So it's if you want to make those type of friends, it's important to have an open mind and just treat everybody as equal. Like don't think, okay, because this person and I aren't similar or don't have similar qualities, like we can't be friends. Or yeah, just have an open mind. Like it's important to have an open mind because the way I made friends in college, because when I first my freshman year, I it was during COVID, so I didn't really get to meet anyone, and it was kind of lonely, you know. But I tried like to be open and just talk to people in my classes and stuff, and that's how you make friends. Just try and interact with people in your class, and from there, you're like you'll be fine. Just be open minded.
So I guess the number one tip is to stay open and be open.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think that's good advice for making friends, even outside of college as well,
Yeah,
anywhere you go. Because a lot of people are going to be different than you, and
yeah,
it's okay to accept
definitely.
those differences as well. All right. What do you think is the number one thing someone should look for when trying to choose a college?
I think it depends on your goals. If you're very academic, you should pick a college that's academic, so you're in sync with your goals. If you're very outgoing and you're going to college because you want to meet new people and explore while also like pursuing your degree or whatever, you should go to a school that has a great mix of both. Like um, for me, I'm more academically inclined. I don't find so much joy in campus life activities, you know. So I picked a school that's just like that. And if I start to feel like, oh, I'm doing so much work, I mean, there are outlets for that. Like that's why you have friends and stuff. So I feel like you should pick a college that's aligned with your goals in the long term.
Yeah, and I think something that I'm realizing and choosing colleges to apply to is that every college is really different, and it's really
Very.
important to pay attention to
Mm,
like things that you wouldn't normally consider if you didn't know about college, but those
exactly.
things make the difference.
Yeah, they do. They do.
So, did you ever switch your major or think about switching? And if so, do you have any advice for students who are unsure of whether they're pursuing the right career?
I never switched my major. I tried as much as possible to do like really thorough like research into what I wanted to do so I wouldn't change my mind. And I don't plan on switching my major, but I know people who have switched their majors, and I know people who are still undecided. So if you're not sure about what you want to do, you can go into college undecided with no major at all. So you just take classes, like you just pick random classes that you would want to take. And then after like the first semester or two, like you can decide, okay, this is what I want to do. It's okay to be undecided. Like not everybody has their life planned out the way others do. So you could go in undecided, it's fine. I feel like once you get into college, after the first semester or two, you should know what you want to do. Like after you've taken a few classes, you should be sure. So it's okay to be undecided now. You don't have to put yourself in a box just because you want to apply to college. You could go in undecided and pick what you want to do later.
Yeah, I think especially it's a lot of pressure as at least that's what I perceive like as a 16 or 17 or 18-year-old to be like, oh, this is what I want to do for the rest of my
Yeah.
life.
So your
So
life,
I
yeah,
think,
it's
yeah,
hard.
so I think having those options is really important and considering those things like, oh,
Yeah.
you can apply undecided if you don't know exactly what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, I don't know for sure, but I would assume in college you learn a lot more about what you want to do,
Yeah,
the
you do.
fields, and the options
You
you have. So. Do you, I know you briefly went over this before, but do you have any specific advice on how to stay focused as a college student?
Yes, I do. When it comes to staying focused, is you just you have to put the end in mind. The way I get stay focused is okay, I'm doing this. I have 2 more years. I'm trying to get my degree, you know, and try to, you know, distraction comes in different ways, but try to time management helps a lot. Like once you manage your time and plan your time, it's hard to get distracted because you said, okay, I'm doing this at so time, and you do that. So it's hard for distractions to come in between. And keep yourself busy as well. If you're not doing classes or studying, it's good to have a job. You could be in an organization. It's important to keep yourself busy because once you keep yourself busy, you know that, okay, I have these activities to do and I have to do it at so time. So it's hard for you to be like, oh, look, here's this thing I want to do. Let me just do it and forget about school. So it's important to keep yourself busy.
So keep yourself busy. I'll try to remember that. All right. My last question for you today is, what is the most difficult part about being a college student and how are you able to overcome that?
Hmm. I think the most difficult part about being in college is realizing that you have to be your own person. especially coming from home. And I don't know how everyone else grew up, but the way I grew up, like my parents were making most of the decisions for me. So I was just like, okay, I'm gonna sit back and they'll do what they want to do. So when you come to college, you realize like a lot of things about yourself that you probably didn't know. It's a journey of self discovery, really, and I think everyone else feels the same way. Being your own person is not as it's not as exciting as it seems. To be honest, it's hard taking responsibility and being an adult. It's very hard. So I think that's one of the toughest things that I've come in contact with in college. And the way I've done it or I'm doing it, I still don't think I've overcome it. But I just try every day to align who I am with my morals and what I believe is right. So it's you just have to stick to your what you believe is right, honestly, because there are many things that can change your viewpoints on a lot of things. So you just have to keep trying to remember your goals, who you are, and stuff like that, because it's hard to lose yourself, really, and it's tough being your own person. So I would say that you should just try to remember your morals and who you want to be honest, not necessarily who you have been, who you want to be, and stick to that as much as you can.
All right. Well, thank you so much for everything you've had to say today. I think I personally found this interview incredibly insightful and informative. I hope everyone else will as well. One major or a few major takeaways that I think I have is that college is more flexible than people make it out to be. And so, for that reason, we should all remember to take advantage of the opportunities we do have in high school and in other areas of life. And it's also very important as a college student to keep your morals and end goals in sight. So, once again, thank you so much for being here. I look forward to more interactions and interviews in the future.
Thank you so much. It was great to be here.
Thank you for coming.
All right.
Bye. Alright, guys, we want to hear about what you thought about today's episode, so please drop a comment down below. You know the drill. Like, follow us on Insight.Teens on Instagram, and also don't forget to follow us on our Facebook page at Insight.Teens. Make sure to check out the description below for more information on that. Lastly, we just launched our new website at insight.teens.com, so make sure to check that out as well. And be sure to watch all our past interviews and other fun content. Alright, that's all for today's interview. I hope you guys enjoyed the first season of our college life series. Make sure to stay tuned for more interviews and more insight.